And now let us proceed to the summary of our topic, which is the most common types of corruption in the PNP. Let me define first what is police corruption. So, police corruption, it is a form of police misconduct in which law enforcement officers end up breaking their political contract and abuse their power for personal gain. This type of corruption may involve one or a group of officers. Internal police corruption is a challenge to public trust question of departmental policies, human rights, and legal violations involving serious consequences. Police corruption can take many forms, such as bribery, case fixing, extortion, protection, recycling, internal payoff, and selective enforcement. Let me define first what is case fixing. Case fixing, it is undermining criminal prosecutions by withholding evidence or failing to appear of judicial hearings for bribery or as a personal favor. So, this type of corruption is also common when there is hearing. They will not show the evidence, they will not attend the case hearing for bribery, of course. The second one is the protection. The protection, it is the taking of money or other rewards from vice operators or from legitimate companies operating illegally in return for protecting them from law enforcement activity. So, they will also receive the taking of money, or they will receive a money in order to protect their position or their names in the police as a police officer. The third one is the bribery. Bribery may also include leasing unlawful access to proprietary law enforcement databases and systems. It is the most common acts of corruption in the Philippines, so we encounter a lot of this kind of corruption. It also enabled to make a positive identification of a criminal or by being in the wrong place at a time when a crime is to occur. The fourth one is the extortion. Extortion, it is the common practice of holding street court where incidents such as minor traffic tickets can be avoided with a cash payment to the officer and no receipt given. So this type of corruption is also common in the Philippines. If you will give them money or cash payment, your tickets will be dismissed. The fifth one is the recycling. The recycling, it is the use of sale or confiscated items and evidence, usually drugs or narcotics. So, this is also common in the Philippines. Internal payoffs, prerogatives, and prerequisites of law enforcement organizations such as shift and holidays being bought and sold. So, it is the absence of duty, of course. The last one is the selective enforcement. When we say selective enforcement, it occurs when police officers exploit their officers' discretion. So all in all, the police corruption is not good. It can ruin our society. Both law enforcement and the public are harmed by the police corruption. It is illegal behavior of the PNP, of course. It can ruin the image of the police officer.
My topic is all about corruption. So when we speak about corruption, what does really it mean? So, it is a form of dishonesty or a criminal offense which is undertaken by a person or an organization which is entrusted with a position of authority in order to acquire illicit benefits or abuse of power for one's personal gain. So, in police organization, corruption is a form of police misconduct in which law enforcement officers end up breaking their political contract and abuse their power for personal gain. Just like, for example, a public servant demanding or taking money or favors in exchange for their service. For instance, a police officer might accept money in exchange for not arresting that person that falls under bribery, which is usually the money is a form of bribe. It is also an act of unfairly and illegally influencing a decision-making process through giving and receiving of gifts or money in exchange for their benefits. So it is a big challenge for the law enforcement officers since they are serving to the public. It is a challenge for them to gain the public trust, cohesion of departmental policies, human rights, and legal violation involving serious consequences. So for us to deter this kind of corruption, they should keep the public servant honest, transparent, and accountable in each action they take. So, some example of corruption will be discussed by my fellow members.
Hello, topic as the most common types of corruption in the PNP or the most problems in the police, national police. No, yes, no, we all know that corruption is a very crucial problem that we face today in our society. Yes, no, it's all need you to know that, no, to know that problem na related, no, and also, no, future law enforcement officer, no, to give idea of what is a common problem, no, in the PNP. So the example of that, no, about the corruption in the Philippine National Police, the example first, no, is a case fixing, bribery, extortion, protection, recycling, selective enforcement, and eternal payoff. So first, no, I discuss, no, case fixing. Case fixing, no, or meaning, no, is to fix, no, to fix the problem, or to face, no, sa problem nga ato ang gina-face karon, no, about sa corruption, di ba? So they stated there na subjective imposition of penalties or outright sabotage of the inquiry process for personal gain in exchange for money or other items. No, yes, no, they doing an illegal practice, no, in which law enforcement official alter the outcome of the cases, diba? By the example, no, the example of that is reducing, no, the reducing or dismissing the charges or exchanging, no, or release for information, diba? The discharge, no, about the, no, sa mga butang ilhang na nadawat, no, the dismiss, diba? So the example of that, no, example there, price fixing, diba? As you can see there, no, this example of like pangungutong, diba? So the example of the price fixing, no, some of law enforcer, no, is nagapangutong jud, no, sa mga driver, diba? They collected money, no, tapos gina-dismiss nila. So through that, no, through that na they violated the law, diba? That is the first, no, problems jud, no, some sa mga PNP, no, some sa mga law enforcement officer, and also that is the, no, that is a challenge, no, it's a challenge to all, no, law enforcement officer, no, of how to be a good servant in our industry. So we need to be honest, no, we have honesty and integrity, yun, no. If you have in position now, no, as a police national officer, diba? So that's all. Thank you.
Good day, my name is Angel Abli and I'll be discuss all about extortion. So what is extortion? Extortion is the common practice of holding street court where incidents such as minor traffic tickets can be avoided with a cash payment to the officer in no receipt given. Using this process, police have also been known to extort money from arrested drug personalities. On the other hand, extortion is the wrongful of actual or threatened force, violence, or intimidation to gain money or property. Like for example, um, they threaten you to release your embarrassing picture, to force you um, to gain money any interest or any interest all about you. This could this example could be defined as example of extortion or an act. On the other hand, we have the types of extortion can be defined. So first, the blackmail and the protection schemes. Blackmail is an insidious form of coercion or a criminal act that uses threats or violence to force a victim to act against their interests. Like for example, when someone writes you a letter and threatens to expose your extramarital affair to your husband unless you pay money. This usually they they giving you a threat or force to to pay money and give some mm, file interest from your from your own um self, or it's all about you. They usually gives you a threat or um um that's it. So next is um so next is the protection sham, where a protection sham is a type of distortion where a business pays a group of individuals money. Money is paid to this group of individuals to keep the business safe from harm. This is actually the um, to define a extortion, where usually they use threats for you to exchange a money. And then we have the other examples of protection sham. Um, Protection sham is when the mafia scares a business into giving it money in exchange protection from injury. This actually an act of extortion when we define the use of threats or violence to for you to pay money. So that is all for my topic in all about extortion. Thank you.
Good day, my name is Ralph P. Enrique. My topic is all about protection. There are 7 graft and corruption and the police exist in different degrees. case fixing, bribery, extortion, protection, recycling, internal payoffs, selective enforcement. Protection, the taking of money or other rewards from vice operators or from legitimate companies operating illegally in returns for protecting them from law enforcement activity. This is one of the common corruption of the PNP, in which they use to protect the position of the leader despite of their misdeeds. They take the money for their own benefits, not the country and its people. Avoid accepting money or other benefits from violence operators or legitimate companies operating unlawfully in exchange for safeguarding them from law enforcement. With this illegal protection, it will destroy the dignity or the name of PNP. You must perform well and truthful or honest in your work. That's all. Thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Aldrin Marbles and today I will discuss to you about the recycling. This is one of the most common types of corruption in Philippine National Police. What is recycling? The resale of illegal substances seized during bypass operation is referred to a drug recycling. Use or sale of confiscated items and evidence, usually drugs or narcotics. Ito yung mga evidence or drugs na na-confiscate nila during bypass na tinatago ng mga tiwaling pulis para maibenta ulit or magamit. So what are the most common reason for the law enforcer to engage in this criminal conduct? Because of the money. May mga kapulisan na gumagawa nito para magkapera o maraming mga kapulisan na to generalize na nahuhumaling gumawa ng illegal na aktibidad na ito because of the money. So, there are powerful people who command the police to engage in this illegal activity. Others engage in the illegal activity for their personal gain. So, sad to say, maraming parte ng law enforcement na still gumagawa o gumagamit ng drugs na hindi nahuhuli dahil sa mga connection nila. So, this is they are inappreciative for their solemn responsibility. Hindi nila pinapanindigan o binibigyang halaga yung mga pinanunumpaan nila at yung tungkulin nila. That's all.
So, good morning. My name is Yancy Estopicilio from the group of Opong, and I am assigned to report about the selective enforcement. So, there are most common types of corruption in the Philippine National Police. So first is the case fixing, second is the bribery, third is the extortion, fourth is the protection, fifth the recycling, sixth is the selective enforcement, and seventh is the internal payout. So I am tasked to present about the selective enforcement. So selective enforcement. Selective enforcement occurs when police officers exploit their officers' discretion. For example, a PNP member who releases a suspect due to what is commonly known as arreglo or palato is in clear abuse of his or her discretion and authority. On the reverse side, a police officer who arrests a person simply because the latter annoys him is likely guilty of selective enforcement. So basically, the meaning of the sentence is that selective enforcement are those enforcers who clearly abuses their discretion, and we all know in the Philippines has the higher what do you call this, higher possibility that an enforcer do the unlawful thing, especially like the police, like the arreglo. So basically, arreglo is common here in the Philippines, so that it cannot be more hassle to a crime committed. Example is like the overspeeding. So sa sa process nito, hindi na kailangan ng ticket or like bigyan na lang ng pera para hindi na ma-ticketan. So in selective enforcement, uh, they 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 exploit their as an officer discretion, which is not good. Na dapat as a law enforcer, dapat sumusunod tayo sa batas. We do what is right for the community. So next, in law, selective enforcement occurs when government officials such as police officers, prosecutors, or regulators exercise enforcement discretion, use the power to choose whether or how to punish a person who has violated the law. So in this section, it states that the selective enforcement commonly can be commonly seen in the government officials, like what I've said. Lastly, the police officers, which exploits their duties, which has a big impact in our community, in our criminal justice system. Next, there are examples of selective enforcement. First, the police officers that issues a ticket to every driver they observe exceeding the speed limit. So what I've said earlier, ginagawa nila ito para di na masyado magamit ang kanilang mga duties and ma-simplify ang kanilang mga ginagawa as an officer. But it is not healthy and it is not good for the enforcement, since our country is very strict about that. So as a future law officer, we should do the right thing and we should follow the rules and implement it. Next is the LTO enforcers with fixers. So in selective enforcement, we all know that fixers are scattered here in the Philippines, and people are doing fixers because they want to get easy process like the LTO, so that they can easily get their license. Third is the excessive usage of power and authority in BGMP. So I gave this example because I noticed that in our jail, the BGMP, the Philippines, the excessive usage of power, like the authorities inside the jail, works not fairly as an enforcer, because they are being used through money to like deliver some what you call this, the not allowed things inside the jail. So that are the selective enforcement examples. So lastly, the recommendations. So as a future law enforcer, it is very important to learn and remind ourselves on what are the right things to do in our community, what we can help, and how we can avoid problems that may cause issues to our criminal justice system in the Philippines. So in order to avoid issues like barato or arreglo, we must act professionally and help our community to remind the things that we should not do as a Filipino citizen. Lastly, build a stronger relationship with the CJS in the Philippines so that we can build a peace and a better future for the country. So in the selective enforcement, what I can what I can give an advice so to the people who are not doing their really job, which or they exploit their jobs, is that you must be fully dedicated to your work. Do the right ones and avoid the wrong ones, especially here in the Philippines, that people are people are not not so uh following rules. So the but we cannot deny that there are in our community there are law abiders, and by that it should be corrected and it should be managed carefully. So thank you.
So when it comes to corruption in the Philippine National Police, they have seven common types of corruption in the Philippine National Police, which is the case fixing, bribery, extortion, protection, recycling, selective enforcement, and also internal payoffs. So, internal payoffs, it involves monetary payments or any other types of benefits. That's why that's why it is a part of corruption in the Philippine National Police, because some of them sells their work assignments, so they sell their work assignments to other for some reasons. So as well as day offs, holidays, vacation periods, and even promotions. So even promotions they received as well. That's why some of them received a higher position even they not deserve that position. So that's why this corruption must be solved in order to avoid fraud inside the Philippine National Police.
So, good day everyone. I'm Jaden Gill and I'm going to discuss the topic which is bribery. So, first, a bribery is a form of corruption which involves the promise of money or favor to someone in a position of power with the hope of influencing that person's behavior. Bribery is an act of implying money or giving that alters the behavior of the recipient. Bribery is defined as the offering or receiving of any item of value to influence the actions of an official or other person in charge of public. So basically, bribery may take the form of favors or monetary or otherwise as means to alter or influence the behavior of a person in authority. So these are the forms of bribe. First, tip, gift, discount, free food, free tip, free ticket, funding, sale, or property, promotion, rise of position, or rank. So these are the effects of bribery. First, bribery often makes a country less attractive for foreign investors and may thus keep down the standard of living in the country. Second is American companies are forbidden to pay bribes even abroad. They complain that they are therefore at a disadvantage to non-US companies in some markets. So the effects of bribery, it distorts public spending or it undermines economic efficiency and puts governance at risk among others. So in general, bribery is when contracts are given to companies who offer bribes. This results in less less fortunate companies or people to miss out on opportunities. So it should such practice become commonplace. By that, the government takes a nosedive in efficiency. So that's all. Thank you.
So, types of corruption of the PNP. So, we have bribery. The act of promising, giving, receiving, or agreeing to receive money or some other item of value with a corrupt aim to influencing public official in discharge of his duty of official duties. So, we have example of bribery. So, if an electoral candidate offered to voters, or he offered to voters that he offered bottles or money or liquor, like just like that, in exchange for votes, so it would be considered a bribe. Therefore, a crime. So, second, we have extortion. So, extortion is the act to trying to get money, goods, property, or anything value from another person by threatening or using violence, fear, humiliation, or any other unlawful threat. So we have example of extortion. So extortion is a crime that something from someone, especially money, by using force or threat, that has been charged with extortion. Another example, when you threaten to release embracing pictures to your loved ones or someone, just like that. If you spread that a nude picture, so unless he gives you a money, so that is example of extortion. So next, patronage. As well, the term may refer to a type of corruption or favoritism in which a party in power rewards groups, families, or ethnicities fraudulently awarded appointment or government contracts. So we have an example of patronage. So here, patronage is a customer financial support from customer or guest. Just like example of patronage is it's all about the customer at a delay. Another patronage is a money received by a hotel during convention that grant ecclesiastical benefits to a member of the clergy. Thank you.